Hello, hello, this is Rosa, Rubio, Giotta from rcgkreations. How you doing? Hey, hey, hey. Bear with me, I gotta turn my camera so I know where my angle is at. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay, let me show you what, I'm gonna stop. Okay, now you can see me a little bit better, but I want you to be able to see the table, so it's kind of hard to do the adjustment. Anyway, what we're making today is brownies. Okay, this is a really simple recipe, and I will put it in the description box, and also a little pop-up of just the ingredients, okay, because this is really fairly simple. All you're doing is you're getting 1 cup of melted butter, excuse me, 1/2 cup melted butter, 1/2 cup granulated sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1/3 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. To save on time, because I'm trying to stay under my 15 minutes, I went ahead and mixed up, because I'm doing a double batch. I mixed up the flour and the sugar, so you want to make sure that that's really mixed up good. Because part of brownies is you don't want to just beat it to death. You want it smooth, yeah, but you don't want to beat it to death. And I am not using an electric mixer. So all I'm doing here now is just incorporating the flour and the sugar to make sure that they're all mixed up together. Ooh, my oven's ready. Okay, and I already have the butter melting in a pot on the stove there. It's already done. But you want to make sure that it's all mixed up, and make sure you go down to the center middle and make sure you incorporate all that together. Alright. You'll be able to see that it's been done. Okay. Now, I always like to do the dry ingredients first. So next I'm going to add my cocoa powder. And then I'm going to stir that in. If there's any lumps, break them up. I vacuum pack my flour, sugar, all my dry ingredient stuff for baking because I buy it in bulk. I typically just go to my local grocery store and get a 10-pound bag or 5-pound bag because we're empty nesters. My cocoa powder stuff, because we don't do a lot of desserts because we are trying to watch our weight. So I just vacuum pack it into small little containers. That makes it easy for us to, see, there we go, I put a little label on it for me to make, and then that way I don't use all my, I don't have to open up all the jars. Because when you vacuum pack it, it does last a lot longer. I haven't really actually done the research. But if I do, I'll post it in the description box of how long it lasts. But from what I've read, it'll last basically indefinitely. As long as you store it in a cool, dark area and it's vacuum packed tight. Okay? And because I'm trying to save space in my freezer, I try not to freeze this stuff. So that's why I vacuum pack it. Okay. Now I see a couple of little pieces that are kind of little lumpies on the cocoa. So I'm just going to take my hand and I'm breaking them apart. Because you really want the cocoa to be smooth. Make sure, dry hands, dry equipment. Your area's all clean. Okay, see, that didn't take very long at all. Yep. I'm all done, and it's all definitely well incorporated because you can't hardly see any flour whatsoever. Okay, it's very, very powdery, so let me wash my hands right quick. Okay. Now, okay, so that's all the dry ingredients except for, now we're going to add the 1/4 teaspoon salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which I already pre-measured. And there they are in there. Now I'm going to mix this. And I know a lot of people say this is a lot, but you know, you actually get a better flavor, better taste if you work in steps and mix all your dry ingredients in steps. And you don't believe me, try it. Do it, put it all together all at one time, then mix it all up. Okay, and then do another batch, doing it in steps. And see if you notice the difference. You know, some people can really mix really well. Some people can't. And, you know, it's just one of those things. But I personally believe in my years of doing this. Whoops. There's my alarm. I got another project I want to get done this morning before I go to church. But overall, this is only going to take about 40. It's only going to do 30 minutes of baking. And then the mixing, you know, just takes about 15 minutes. Okay. So there's that. Now we're going to add the vanilla. Oh, I'm sorry, the eggs. I did a double batch, so I'll do 4 eggs. And I already stirred them all and mixed them all up. So now I'm going to be adding my wet ingredients. Here's my vanilla, and then the butter. Alrighty. Okay, good. That's cooled off. I don't like to put it in my sink until I know the pot's cooled off. So now I'm just going to mix it. Now I'm being kind of slow because I don't want to get powder all over the place because I tend to get messy when I'm cooking. And I didn't put my apron on. Oh, I just washed my outfit too. This is my favorite outfit I love to wear. Okay. I should have known I should have worn my apron. Oh well, off of the long wash it goes. And this is a little thick. But I did double batch everything and I pre-measured it all. So let me get my spatula that I used to stir the butter with. Let's get all this out of here. And when it's a little bit moist like this, you could add butter. You could add a little bit more butter, but I don't want to take the time to do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water because I want it to be a little bit more liquid, but not runny. Okay, that's smoothed out, good enough. And I'm just scraping the bottom of the bowl. Okay, I definitely need more liquid. And I'm just using the bowl that I had the eggs in because it's not going to hurt any. And you add a little bit of a time, and then stir to see if that's enough liquid. Okay, a little bit more. They smell good. Definitely smell that chocolate. But you can definitely see all that powder in the bottom center. See that? Always mix and pull up from the bottom center to make sure that you've got it all incorporated in there. I think I may use all this water. In fact, I'm going to use it all because it's pretty darn dry. This is my first time trying this recipe. I looked at a bunch of different ones. I looked at my Betty Crocker one, but I've made that one so many times I wanted to try something different. So I definitely will add to this recipe if it turns out good. Oh yeah, see, look at that. You can definitely see the moisture now. And don't forget, go into the center to make sure that it's all incorporated and you're getting all the way in the center. And my arm's getting tired. But these are supposed to be soft and chewy, and the next day they're supposed to remain soft and chewy. And I personally like crunchy ones. Hubby likes soft and chewy, so I'm making him soft and chewy. But of course, I'll get the little corner edges. Those are the crunchy parts, and that's what I'll get. Okay, that was actually just enough water. I don't want to get it, you know what I'm going to do, just a tad more, because I do want it just a little bit thinner. After a while, you'll get to notice, as you're doing your baking and your cooking, of how to tweak a recipe. But remember, write it down and keep track of how you tweeted it so you'll know what works. Okay, yeah, that's definitely what I needed. It's a lot more easier to manage. It's a lot more easier to stir. Okay, so let me wipe my... All this is water. And I got my little Pampered Chef brownie pan. I sprayed it with spray. Get this out of the way. I'm going to start off in the center. And I don't want to fill them up totally full. That's why I like to use a bowl that's got a little spout. That's just me. You use what you've got. And then we'll show you in a minute how to clean up the little boo-boos that I just made where I overspilt. I overfilled the container area. I like this pan because it makes a perfect little squares, especially if you're going to go like to a party or deliver these to somebody. You don't have to worry about cutting them. Turn this around. Because these are going to rise a little bit because of the baking powder that you put in it. So don't fill them all the way to the top because they're going to overflow. Then you're going to have like little muffin tops. But if you want that, of course, do it. If that's what you want. Okay. Just about done. And I have a little bit batter left, but I've got another pan that I'm going to be putting this in. But it actually didn't make as much as I thought it would. But I also know I've got some of these overfilled. So let me get a spoon. And I'm going to take some of these out, some of this that's overfilled out. Because I don't want them to overfill and flow over. But then I also want to clean up my mess of where I spilled over. And I think that's pretty darn good. There you go. So let me put this over to the side. Now here's another little dish, the baking dish, casserole dish. I'm putting parchment paper because I'm doing it the lazy way. I don't want to have to clean it up. Okay. And I'm going to spray a little bit of vegetable spray in here just because I don't want it to stick to the paper and I don't want it to have a big mess. And this is just Kroger vegetable spray. Oh, no, that's Walmart. Okay. So let me get put my spoon down here. And now I'm just going to pour this in. And I'm trying not to touch this because I don't want to get my clothes more dirty than I need to. Oops. I over messed up. Ah, okay, you know what? I gotta stop. Now this is a perfect time. I'm leaving this in the video because, you know, stuff like this happens. It's just the way it is. That's part of baking. Cooking, baking, whatever. Whatever you're doing, things happen. Okay, so before that runs down, so I will have to clean out my pot because I'm not going to redo this over. But I'm going to get a wet towel once I've poured all this in here. And let me just get all this in there and pour all that in there. Getting the stuff in the center. There we go. Got it almost all out. But this is some thick mix. I hope it turns out good. You can taste your mix, but because all the ingredients are in there, I know it's going to taste good. I want to see what it tastes like at the finished project. That's my part, because that's when you know if it really turned out well or not. Okay, there's most of that. Now let me get my spoon. I'm going to just smooth this out, give myself a little layer here. And I'm just going to take all the extra off the spoon because there's a lot of it there. Okay, my mess up here, that's okay. I'm just going to take most of this part off. All I'm doing is scraping it down. My clean wet towel, because I dishwashed it. I'm going to clean up my mess right here. I just don't want it to spill and get in my oven, so that's why I'm trying to get most of this off of here. Because I'm not too worried about that part. I'm just, and see, I'm just going to leave this open, and then it's going to spread out. And just fold that down, and that'll bake inside each other. Okay, so now they're going to pop them in the oven. Let me angle you. Okay. I should be able to put them both on the top rack. Oops, I missed a spot here. I don't want to get this messy there. I said I was going to show you how I clean up my mess. There we go. Whoop, there's another mess right there. Clean that up. Whoop, there it is. Alrighty. So, and the oven they go. Set my timer. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes just because they're two different size pans. And then we'll bring you back for the taste test. Okay. The oven did take 30 minutes. Now I have a little taste tester. This is also from Pampered Chef. And then you just poke it. And if it comes out clean, then that means your brownies are done. But you see how they rose a little bit? See how puffy they got? So that's why you don't want to overfill them. That one could have used a little bit more, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to let these sit and cool. No, nothing. You'll see batter on the tip of that. That's how you know when it's not done. So we're going to wait for the other one because those are not done. But then they were also in an even amount all together in a bowl. And the center part's still a little bit on the wet side. So I'm going to come back for that. And then I'm going to let these cool off. And I'm going to put them in a baggie so I can give them to the kids at church. This is going to be their little snack for after church. So when they go home to their mom and dads, they're going to be all hyped up with some sugar. We'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. They kind of cooled off a little bit. I've changed clothes because I got to get going. But there's where they all are. See how they kind of puffed up? See that? It's actually not very hot really no more. It's been cooling off while I was getting ready. And I went ahead and took them out. They're really easy. It pops right out. See that? You see how they puffed up? Isn't that cute? But that's just enough brownie for an individual to have a little snack. And now I'm going to wrap them up. And this is not the end of the video because we do have to do a taste test, but I have to do that when I come back. And we're going to also, my hubby took out this one. It's cooling. See that? And there it is. So we tested that one. That's what he gets to keep. Well, actually, he and I get to keep that one. This is for the kids. I got to wrap these up, then get ready to go. And then I'm going to save 2 of them for tomorrow so we can do the taste test to see. Because remember I started the video, the reason I'm doing this particular recipe is because they say that the next day they're still soft and chewy. And I want to see that because most brownies get hard the next day or the 3rd day if they last that long. So I'm saving 2 of these for tomorrow. And so this is not the end of the video yet. So we'll bring it back when we get to that next phase, but it won't be to tomorrow. Okay, we'll bring it back. Okay, we're back. We're doing the taste test. This is actually 2 days later when I made the brownies. Put them in this little container. I did slice them up. Of course, we had some yesterday. They were good. Now let's see, the whole thing of doing this is the recipe says that they're supposed to be chewy. Oops, sorry, another chore. I gotta do another chore as soon as I get done with this. The recipe says they're supposed to be chewy 2 days later or the next day. And they're nice and moist. Whoops. And you know what? It's correct. If you want chewy, moist brownies a few days after you make them, make this recipe. But there they are. We have some more. The other ones that I wrapped, we ended up only having 5 kids in our nursery, in our Sunday school class, instead of 10, what we typically have. So we had 5 extra brownies that hubby, I only had 1, hubby had 2 of them. So we're set for dessert for the rest of the week. 1 little brownie apiece. And I'm going to take another bite. And yep, this is my stack. So he has his stack and I have mine. So anyway, that is my take on this recipe for moist brownies that don't get hard days after you make it. I'm going to try to see if I can hold on until Friday for these last 2 bites, just to see. Because usually when I make brownies, I always store them in an airtight container like this. It just depends on how much I have of what I size out jar. But it's always like a Tupperware, or this is a Rubbermaid. This one is a Ziploc container. But they're all basically the same thing. They're just a plastic container with an airlock tied on it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. And then don't forget to, let me show the pictures of it so you can see. I can touch them all because they're mine. So don't forget to look at the description box. I have some vendors and stuff. It doesn't cost you anything, but it'll help grow my channel. If you're interested, just take a look, and then there's some links on there for you to click on. And I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share, and we catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.